gathered at this sacred moment. We ask the God who is called by many names and seen in many images to shine grace upon all present here this day. Open our eyes to see the gift that all of us has been given to walk life's journey with these graduates. Allow these extraordinary students the presence of mind to pause and embrace the awe-inspiring wonder that comes from this momentous achievement. Instill in them an appreciation of the work that they put forth to achieve the honor of being a Monmouth College graduate. May your clear guidance, God, lift them and direct them as they end their time here in Monmouth and they walk into new chapters of life. And may they look at these past years as a foundation that enables them to work towards creating a greater world for all, a world that sees possibility and promise all around them. Let them be excited about what can be achieved, and may they never relinquish their hope for a better future. Inspire in each of them an understanding that through their time here as students has ended, they are and always will be members of this beloved community. Empower them with the courage to always strive to reach their goals and give them a vision to recognize their strengths and never allow fear to dictate their pathways. Empower them with a sense of community so that in these life transitions they will know they are never alone. And let your light shine brightly in each one of our graduates, and let that light radiate into the world. Amen.
First, before I forget, to all that applies, Happy Mother's Day. Reverend Husband, thank you for that wonderful invocation, and thanks also to the Monmouth College Chorale for the beautiful rendition of our alma mater. Good afternoon to all of you on this day of celebration. We are delighted that you can be with us as we participate in the 166th commencement exercises of Monmouth College. We'd like to introduce our special platform guests. On my far left is the Reverend Dr. John Huxtable, College Chaplain. To his right is Ms. Addison Cox, the Lincoln Laureate of the class of 2023. Yeah. On my immediate left is Dr. Mark Wilhart, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty. To his right is our honored guest and commencement speaker, Congressman Richard Gephardt. Next to him, Mr. William Trubeck, Trustee Emeritus in Monmouth College class of 1968. And to Bill's right is Christine Millar, Registrar. I now want to recognize the members of the college's Board of Trustees. These dedicated people, many of them alumni of the college, provide critical leadership for this institution. I hope that some of today's graduates have service as a trustee of Monmouth College among their ambitions. Would the members of the Board of Trustees present with us today please stand so that we can thank you? I would also like to recognize the members of our college alumni board. These individuals serve the college in many ways, encouraging prospective students, providing internships and other career opportunities to current students and other alumni, making and inspiring financial contributions, and serving as a great source of ideas and a sounding board for initiatives at the college. Would any members of the alumni board with us today please stand so we can thank you? I extend a especially warm greeting to Monmouth College's faculty and staff. At Monmouth College, no matter what other titles we may have, we are all educators, committed to the guided growth of our students. Through their dedication and passion, these people have helped our students to free the possibilities inherent in each of them. Would all members of the faculty and staff please rise so that we can thank you as well. starting with our faculty marshals, Professors Audra Goach, Stacy Lopes, Tom Sargent, and Sean Shum. Our facilities staff, led by Ms. Sarah Young, Assistant Director of Fraternity and Sorority Life, Colin Marshall, and Vice President for Student Affairs, Karen Oberzada, who direct many of the weekend celebrations so well. I also want to extend congratulations to all of the graduates and their families from my wife, Moby, who is in Texas caring for our daughter. Next, a special welcome to the very important people for whom today represents the culmination of 4 years of dedication, study, and hard work, and the beginning of exciting new chapters in their lives. All of our graduating classes are special, of course, but this one, like a couple of your predecessors, deserves special recognition. For some of your time has been disrupted by the pandemic. Fortunately, we have emerged from that, but it was a once in a many generations, we hope, experience, and you dealt with it with great patience, great perseverance. So congratulations especially for that. As the Grateful Dead said, what a long, strange trip it has been. But through it all, you have persevered. Members of this special class of 2023, please stand so that we can recognize you at this moment. Finally, a warm welcome to the mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, sons, daughters, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and friends of our 2023 graduates who today celebrate this special event with them and with us. We welcome all of you and we thank you for being here to celebrate the achievements of the class of 2023. I now have the honor of announcing this year's faculty promotions, which were recently approved by the Monmouth College Board of Trustees. Andre Audette was promoted to Associate Professor of Political Science and awarded tenure effective September 1 of this year. Robert Utterback is promoted to Associate Professor of Computer Science and granted tenure effective September 1. Ashwani Kumar is promoted to full professor of physics and engineering effective September 1. Sean Shum is promoted to full professor of exercise science effective September 1. Joanne Erie is promoted to full professor of mathematics, statistics, and computer science effective September 1. And I believe there might be at least one person missing from the master's group. I think Tammy LeBrod, correct? Tammy LeBrod, promoted to associate professor of educational studies and awarded tenure effective September 1. Among the highest honors that a Monmouth College faculty member can receive are the Hatch Award for Excellence in Service, the Hatch Award for Distinguished Scholarship, and the Hatch Award for Teaching Excellence. Established by W. Jerome Hatch, Monmouth College class of 1957, these awards recognize exceptional work and service by our faculty. I am proud to announce this year's recipients of the Hatch Awards. The honoree for Excellence in Service is Professor Robert Olshoon Simmons. This year's recipient of the Hatch Award for Distinguished Scholarship in Creative Works is Professor Ann Mayberry. And this year's recipient of the Hatch Award for Teaching Excellence is Professor Michelle Olshoon Simmons. two outstanding members of our faculty. Professor of Theater Doug Rankin, retiring after 34 years of service. And Professor of Biology Tim Tibbetts after 22 years of service. In recognition of their many contributions to the life of the college over these years, the Board of Trustees has named Doug and Tim Professors Emeriti of Monmouth College. During that time and still, these faculty members have embodied the best of Monmouth College. I ask that they please stand and accept our appreciation. As your program indicates, there will be two addresses this afternoon, and the first one will be presented by our student laureate from the Lincoln Academy of Illinois, Addison Cox. Unique among the 50 states, the Academy was established to honor Illinois' most distinguished citizens with the state's highest award, the Order of Lincoln. Each year, an outstanding senior who exhibits overall excellence in curricular and extracurricular programs is selected from each of the four-year degree-granting institutions of higher learning in Illinois. Addison Cox has indeed exhibited such excellence as a leader in all aspects of campus life and as an example of character and compassion. I now invite Ms. Cox to deliver her commencement address.
Few of us have the luxury of solely being students. If we are not student athletes, we are student workers. If we are not student workers, then we have joined organizations or clubs. While we are students, we are also siblings, children, partners, friends, leaders, and a host of other roles that constantly demand our time and attention. Every one of us, at any given moment, contain a multitude of identities that interweave and interact in a way that give life to the other parts of ourselves. At Monmouth College, more than learning how to do citations or balance equations or whatever it is that physics majors do, we have learned to navigate through the complex interrelation of identities, both within ourselves and between others, with confidence. We have gathered here from a variety of different countries, states, cultures, and backgrounds, and along with everything, chosen day after day to unite under the label of Monmouth College student. And today, we earn the honor of calling ourselves Monmouth College graduates. If your time at Monmouth has been similar to mine, then it has allowed us space for self-discovery and experimentation. These past 4 years have granted us the freedom not only to uncover our academic potentials, but to create a delicate balance of responsibilities and passions, and have given birth to a multi-layered, dynamic self-image that we can share with those we love. Of everything we have learned while here, I believe that this skill set, this ability to constantly learn, grow, and adapt is one that we should try our hardest not to lose. In the coming months, we will all be moving into the next stage of our lives, be it a new job, another school, or taking time to determine where to go next. And with these weighty decisions, there will be a world of uncertainty and fear. Once again, you will have to reorganize and rearrange yourself to work your way through new spaces and places with new people and responsibilities. And I am not going to pretend this is not as terrifying as it is exhilarating. Many of us are leaving a place that we have loved deeply and people that we have loved deeply. I know that I can say with complete confidence that I would not be the person I am today without Monmouth College or the people that I've met while here. More than just the academic and professional opportunities, what has touched my life and likely many of my fellow graduates' lives the most is the relationships we have developed while here. Each person I have met while here, from my first year roommate to my East Grade professors and mentors, my coaches, my teammates, my partner, my fellow students have made the past 4 years extraordinary. I'm sure that many of you would agree that the relationships we have developed while here and that helped develop us at Monmouth College will be unforgettable. However, it is time to take the next step. The paths we choose to travel down may be difficult and daunting and expensive, but they are paths that preparing to track for years. As we begin the next phases of our lives, I urge you all to hold fast to whatever childlike seeds of wonder is still in you. Let your heart beat quicken at the prospect of learning something new, not only about the world, but about yourselves. Enter into the unknown with confidence that you have carefully cultivated a method of moving through life that will serve you well. Into the unknown, we will bring with us the comforting traces of memories of lives we have lived, roles we've occupied, and people from this campus we have loved. It is now time to embrace the you have become, but more importantly, welcome the you that you will become with open eagerness. Cherish these moments, these people, and this place, even as you move forward in your journey, and allow yourself to continue exploring and allow yourself to continue growing. This is a monumental occasion, and of course, more than anything, a day to celebrate our accomplishments, with those we have loved and that have loved us, not only as students, but as beautifully complex individuals. I hope you move through this day with pride and excitement over who you have become and who you will become, and continue to move through your life with the courage, love, and ferocious desire to keep learning that we have developed here at Markham. Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Ed. I invite Congressman Richard Gephardt to please come forward. President Wyatt, it is my distinct privilege and high honor to present Richard Gephardt for the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters. A proud native of St. Louis, Mr. Gephardt wisely chose to come to Illinois for his college years, receiving a BS degree from Northwestern in 1962. He then earned his law degree from the University of Michigan School of Law in 1965. Returning to his hometown, Mr. Gephardt soon embarked upon what would become a 34-year career of public service. He was first elected to public office in 1971 as a St. Louis alderman. Mr. Gephardt ran for Congress for the first time in 1976, the first of what would be 14 terms representing Missouri's 3rd Congressional District. In 1988, Congressman Gephardt sought the Democratic nomination for President of the United States, a prize he would seek again in 2004. While not successful in those efforts, his clear commitment to service and his integrity led his colleagues to elect him House Majority Leader in 1989, a position he held until 1995, when the majority shifted to the Republican Party, and he was elected House Minority Leader, a position he held until 2003. Since his retirement from elective office, Congressman Gephardt has stayed involved in public policy. As founder and principal of the Gephardt Group, he was advocated on behalf of numerous entities. Among all of them, healthcare has been his primary interest and passion. He has chaired the Scripps Institute, a nonprofit organization focusing on biomedical research. He is currently a board member of Centene, a leading managed healthcare provider, and he co-founded Solidaritas Health, which focuses on providing quality healthcare to working families. In recognition of his commitment to a life of work, service, and leadership, I am pleased to present Congressman Richard Gephardt for the honorary degree, Doctor of Humane Letters.
Richard Gephardt, whereas your life of public service has provided an example to many, and whereas you have devoted yourself to work on behalf of the common good, and whereas you have done so with compassion, intelligence, steadiness, and integrity, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Monmouth College, the Charter Trustees and Trustees in Board assembled, that Richard Gephardt is awarded the honorary degree, Doctor of Humane Letters, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereto appertaining. I am honored to present you with this diploma, and I ask that Trustee Emeritus Bill Trubeck invest you with the appropriate pledge.
President Wyatt, William Trubeck, families and friends of this great graduating class, the great faculty of this wonderful institution who have trained you and mentored you for these years. and most importantly, to the class of 2023 of this great institution. Congratulations on your achievement of being here today. When Bill Truback and President Wyatt asked me to be here for this occasion and to deliver this short address, I readily accepted, because I love education, I love talking with young people, and I love learning about how good you are. But then after I accepted, I began to think, I haven't done a lot of this lately. I've been out of public service for 18 years. I gave a lot of speeches during that period, but I haven't done this that much. And I realized that people's attention span in that period of time is really shortened, and especially among young people. So I got really worried, how am I going to say anything that will keep people's attention for even 10 minutes? So then I thought, well, maybe the way to do it is to talk to the graduates individually. And so that's what I want to do today. The first thing is what you're probably thinking about today as you're sitting in these seats, realizing that you have a major achievement. Now, probably one of the things that most of you are thinking about is gratitude for all these folks out here who are your friends and family and supporters who did so much because they love you so much that they wanted you to have this college degree. And let's all right now thank them for all they did to help you be here today. Thank you, family and friends. But I also want to give you a sense of how fortunate you are. Today, there are 8 billion people in the world. Only 500 million of those human beings have gotten a college degree. 7% of the world's population has a college degree. So if you think about it, you all are now in the 7% club. One other fact, you live in a country that has one of the highest per capita incomes of Americans in the world. Per capita income in the United States today is $72,000 a year. Now that's not starting salary, that's per capita income. Okay? There are 4 billion human beings on this earth today who live, who survive on $2,000 a year, or $6 a day. If you're an American today, you should understand that you won the lottery, and probably even better than winning the lottery. But it's not just gratitude you're thinking about today. It's not just how lucky you are. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking about, what's next? What am I going to do with this education? And you're going to have a lot of different answers to that because we're all different. Some of you are probably thinking, how do I get a job? I got student loans here. But I need clothing and food and shelter. I gotta make a living. And that's understandable. That's a challenge we all face all the time. So that's good. A lot of you are, maybe some of you are thinking about, I want more education. I like this. This is good. And I can specialize more now and get into what I'm really interested in doing. So that's also good. And some of you probably have no idea of what comes next. You haven't figured it out. And that's okay too. Don't worry about that. It's fine. But whatever you're thinking about as to what comes next, I'd like to take a minute to give you some advice that I've learned from 82 years of life. And if you're willing to listen to an old man for a few minutes, I've got some advice. The first thing that I think you constantly have to analyze in your mind, in your life, is what makes me happy? What do I care about? What is really important to me? In 1776, our founders wrote the Declaration of Independence, which promised Americans life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. In 1787, or whenever they did this had never happened in any country in human history, where the founders were saying, not only can we govern ourselves, we don't need a king, we don't need a potentate, but also we want to guarantee our people have life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. It was an incredible statement. How do you do that? So that's what I want you to think about today. For most people, the first foundation of happiness is security. We all have to be secure. And part of that is what I talked about a minute ago, financial security. You gotta have a job, you gotta have money, you gotta have the income. And so, on this subject, if you don't know exactly what kind of job or employment or activity that you really want to engage in, what I would ask you today and in the future is intentionally think all the time about what are the opportunities out there for you to do whatever, to be happy, to be excited, to be motivated. And I'll say again, you live in the best country in the world to be able to even think about those opportunities. Some of you may decide, hey, I can start my own business. I don't need to go to work for someone. I'm young, I don't have a lot of experience, but man, there's a lot of opportunities. Let me tell you two stories. I have a son, Matt. When he was a little kid, 8 years old, I would say to him, Matt, what are you going to do when you grow up? And he'd always say, I want to set up a restaurant. never do this. So after he got out of college, he went to work for a software company. He did that for like 3 years, and he sold software to different organizations. And he liked it. He enjoyed it. He was part of the team. He enjoyed it. One day he called me and he said, "Dad, I want to do that restaurant thing." And I said, "What? This is crazy. What are you talking about?" He said, "No, I've always wanted to do this." I said, "Okay, you'll probably fail, but that's okay. You learn more from failure than you do success, so do it. I don't know how you're going to get the money to do it, but do it." So he said, "Would you invest anything in it?" I said, "I don't have a lot, but I'll give you a little bit, but you're going to have to raise the money." So he got on the phone and called friends and family and aunts and uncles, and he raised the money to set up the first restaurant. He didn't call it Mad Sunny Day, he called it Village Burger. And it's in the suburbs of Atlanta. And he has burgers and salads and the normal stuff. He has really good food. He insisted on having great food. He hired the first workers that were going to do the work, cook the food, serve the food, etc. That was 10 years ago. Today, there are 7 Village Burgers in suburban Atlanta. He's hired hundreds of employees who work in these restaurants. He has not lost one employee in 10 years because he loves them and they love him and they love what they do because they are delivering a fabulous product to people that helps people. And it was written up as one of the most promising new businesses in the Atlanta area a few years ago. Another story. A few years ago, I was in New York trying to go to a meeting. I couldn't get a cab. This was before Uber, so I couldn't get a cab. I didn't know how I was going to make the meeting. I was standing in front of the hotel, looking back and forth. A young guy came up to me and he said, "It looks like you need a ride." I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, "I got a black car over here, I'll take it." I said, "Great." We jumped in the car, we're driving to the meeting. I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Bangladesh." I said, "How long you been here?" He said, 10 years. I said, "Do you own this black car?" He said, "Yeah, I do. In fact, I own 12 of them." I said, "How did you do that?" He said, "I came here with nothing. I drove a cab 20 hours a day for 3 years. I saved every dime I could. I bought my first black car. Now I've got 12 of them." I said, "Do you have kids?" He said, "Yeah, I've got 3 kids." I said, "Where are they?" He said, 2 are lawyers and 1's a doctor." I said, "Wow. What do you think about this country?" He pulled the car over to the curb, turned around. People were honking. He turned around to me, put his hands together, and he said, "Thank God for America." In Bangladesh, I couldn't even thought of doing what I have done. You want to start a business? It takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of risk. You can do it. Second thing that you may be thinking about is, I don't want to do that. That's too risky. It's too crazy. I want to get a job in a company, a small company, a medium company, a big-sized company. I don't know about it because I don't know a company, and I've got to do a lot of work to figure it out. But I'm not sure I want to be in a big bureaucracy with a lot of other people. I just don't know. may not even know what kind of service or product they are making or who are their customers. But by entering into it, you may find out you're a really important part of a great team, a winning team. And that is awesome. That will make you happy. It's like being part of a winning basketball team or football team or whatever. Because of the human relationships you're going to make, working with people as a partner is it's a great thing. But there are a lot of other things you can think of doing, but let me kind of encapsulate this part. I think you always have to remember that none of us achieves long-term happiness, in my experience, just because you're making money, and even a lot of money. I firmly believe we all need money, I get it. We all have to have an income. Really important. Don't ever forget it. But you get long-term happiness from two things: human relationships, and second, the belief and the understanding that you are helping other people. When you're nearing the end of your life, you will not measure your success by how much stuff you have, how much even money you have, how much wealth you have, but by the successful human relationships you have and how much you've been able to help other people. A friend once asked me, should you work to live or live to work? It's a great question. And I finally figured out there's no wrong answer. Some of you will find that your employment is your greatest joy and happiness. And your hobby is not going to be retirement. It's going to be continuing to work. That's great. But some of you will feel, I don't really like work that much. There are other things that float my boat. It could be nature, it could be travel, it could be human organizations, it could be any number of things, church, social organizations, community work. All of that is really good and really important. So there's no right answer to that question. So my best advice is to be intentional in thinking about what is happiness to me. And through your life, don't be afraid to visit and revisit that question. Because in today's world, you're going to change your mind as you go forward. And one last thing, and that is always remember you will have times when things really go wrong. Things really look bleak. And that's okay too. You're going to learn more from failure than you are from success. Because you're going to correct the mistake. And you're going to do better. And you're going to be better as a result. Let me end with the most important advice that I ever got. It was from my mother. When I was 5, she would get down on her knees and she'd look me in the eye. And I knew when she looked me in the eye, I better listen. She said, "Dick, always treat other people the way you And then she made it even more understandable to a 5-year-old. She said, before you say anything to anybody, think how you would like it said to you. Before you do anything to anybody, think how you would like it done to you. Respect everyone because you would like them to respect you. And then she came up with a real kicker. She said, Dick, you need to love your enemy. People who hate you as much as you love yourself. Boy, as a 5-year-old, I had trouble with that one. I got the golden rule, to love my enemy, love somebody who hates me as much as I love myself. How can I do that? I've often failed with both in my life. I haven't always treated everybody the way I wanted to be treated, and I sure haven't treated my enemies as much as I love myself. But I have done it as much as I could possibly do. And I just want to leave you with a simple understanding. What I've learned is that love empowers you. Love and respect powers you. And hatred will destroy you. If you really step back and look at it, the golden rule and loving your enemy as much as you love yourself is the most selfish thing you can do. Because you're going to get back what you give out. 9 times out of 10. And that's pretty good odds. So my last point to you is, as you embark on this wonderful journey of life that you're embarked on, treat everybody with respect. Love others. And you will be respected and loved every day of your life. Congratulations, you have achieved something that very few people in the world can achieve, and you will have a bright and wonderful future. God bless.
Thank you, Congressman Gephardt. For 166 years, Monmouth College has followed the tradition of using Latin to confer the baccalaureate degree. We invite you to follow the English translation printed in the commencement program as we begin the presentation of the conferral of degrees for the Monmouth College class of 2023. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts please rise? Bachelor of Science students. Tibi Presley, Colegi Monmouthensis, Hos Juvenis Grado Martinum Baccalaureate Scientiae et Metantur Opera.
In nomine Dei, Amen. Autoritate nobis ad publica Illinoisensis, commissa et consuetudine veterae, os professores Collegii Monmouthensis, os ad gratum partium baccalaureae et baccalaureae Scientiae admittimus.
This is the 2023 graduating class of Monmouth College. Congratulations. At this time, we invite the graduates to come forward as their names are called to be awarded their diplomas. I ask that the audience hold applause until all students receive their diplomas. Tori Ray Adolfson. Armando Almanasi. Jesus Alvarez. Mackenzie S. Williams Anderson. Isaac Asplin, magna cum laude. James Azzi, magna cum laude. Seneca Amari Baker. Madeline Page Delville. Cal Michael Bingham, magna cum laude. Riley Elizabeth Bingham, cum laude. Nicholas Reed Bona, magna cum laude. Lyman Bond. Dylan Wayne Bowe. Francois Chakoy Boni. Alex Lee Boswell. Carter Joseph Boyer. Jacob Brokaw. Madison Nicole Butler. Brooke Marie Carlson. Michael Augustine Casey. Ian Oliver Castellanos. Christian Centeno. Allison Ruth Clay, magna cum laude. Drew Cliffle. Gavin Trey Conway. Maxwell Buchanan Cook, magna cum laude. Madison Koopman. Nicholas G. Corman, cum laude. Addison Ray Cox, summa cum laude. Garrett Richard Cranford. Gabrielle Kaylin Brothers. Dylan Daniel Kulik. Christian James Daniel. Stanley Davies.
Attaboy, Luther!
Jonathan Diaz. Kyle Lee Dilly. Luke James Ditzworth. Sydney Louise Dawkins, magna cum laude. Kaylee Anna Daybert. Kane Patrick Donahue. Jacob Duncan. Amanda Catherine Dabble. Nicholas Florian Esperon. Riley Chase Federer. Addison Summers Fletcher, cum laude. Dia Fowler. Stephen Todd Fowler, magna cum laude. Caitlin Mary Fox, summa cum laude. Karen Mary Frederick, summa cum laude. Lauren Elizabeth Fulsher. Jacinda Lee Garcia. Marcos Victor Garibay. Jeffrey Evan Garrett, summa cum laude. Jasmine Kate Gentry. Omar Ildefonso Godinez Quinones. Thomas Green. Maurice Tyrell Green. Shay Riley Hafner, summa cum laude. Danielle Suzanne Higgins, summa cum laude. Grant Michael Hall. Isabel Ann Hammond. Elizabeth Lily Ann Harlan, cum laude. Laquita Harris. Emily Page Henson, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Hermosillo. Kaylee Joanne Hyndman. David E. W. Hoffman. Mackenzie Holmes, magna cum laude. Jack Robert Hosack. Madison Aletha Ann Hall. Luke Harrison Hunter. Alexa Michelle Johnson, magna cum laude. Cassidy Renee Johnson, summa cum laude. Lauren Ashley Johnson, cum laude. Patrick A. Johnston. Clarissa Nicole Campy, summa cum laude. Sater Keeling. Madison Brooke Kelly. Alexander T. Kimmel. Alexandria King, cum laude. Mackenzie Leanne Place. Logan Richard Kamater. Samantha Adine Coppers, cum laude. Eric Gostick. John C. Keefe. Mia Sina Angela Kwamboka, cum laude. Sarah Marie LaHood. Anna M. Larson. Emily A. Laughlin, magna cum laude. Abigail Lever. Samira Lynn Lesher, summa cum laude. David Elijah Lind. Talia Long, magna cum laude. Michael R. Lord. Gabriella Obiageli Madhu. Ali Monich, magna cum laude. O.M. Reese Davis, cum laude. Brandon Martinez. Gabriel Martinez. Wyatt Patrick Mayer, magna cum laude. Caitlin Judith McCullough. Kylie Amanda McDonald, magna cum laude. Jacob Michael McLaughlin, cum laude. Timothy Joseph McNally, summa cum laude. Madison Michaela Meldrum, magna cum laude. Haley Nicole Melton. Nathan E. Melvin. Carol Alexa Mendoza Pena. Marquesia Mensa. Jaden Elizabeth Mitchell. Ditsa Yolatsin Montesinos. Luke H. Mulcrone. Alexander H. Murphy. Danielle Jameson Murphy. Julio Seixas Meyer. Jaden Joshua Nuzzo. Nick Anthony Obsate. Elikem Jessica Yaopa. Iber Pacheco. Molly Parsons, summa cum laude. Grace Catherine Pasalia, magna cum laude. Katie A. Patelski. Isabella Rose Peets, magna cum laude. Isabella Perez. Corbin Personnel. Gabriella Paulina Peterson, cum laude. Lauren Peterson, cum laude. Samuel Phillips. Hannah Pittman, magna cum laude. Melissa Abigail Poole, magna cum laude. Dylan Prentice. Kathleen Lynn Preston. Ryan M. Prusak. Annabelle Elizabeth Pullen, summa cum laude. Gabriela Ramirez. Jacob Tyler Rathke. Addison J. Riley. Nicholas Thomas Robertson. Preston Scott Rousey, cum laude. Shreya Roy. Muhammad Ali Sultan, cum laude. Joseph William Sampson, magna cum laude. Jalen N. Sellers, cum laude. Nicholas Enrique Serrano Venezia. Alexis Marie Dwayne Shields. Noah Tristan Shields. Matthew Allen Shimko. Bailey Ruth Shimmons, summa cum laude. Tegan R. Simon. Grace Elizabeth Simpson. Miracle Beyonce Sims. Paige Smith. Reed Patrick Sundroth. Madison Taylor Squire. Caden Thomas Stesko. Ashley Marie Staunton. Samuel Alexander Stoyanov, cum laude. Annie Suman. Noah Tarasi. Ashley Yvonne Thomas, cum laude. Tanner Tomasky. Lindsay Danielle Turner. Jose Elizabeth Barbancourt. Cum laude. Alyssa Villarreal, cum laude. Annalie Voorhees. Anthony Walker. Gail Marie Walker. Zoe L. Wall. Callista Marie Wormowski. Nicole Welch, summa cum laude. Eliza Whitehall. Lena Elizabeth Wickens, cum laude. Abby Rose Williams. Anthony Jason Williams. Reed Wilson. Kestrel Welchie.
Yeah!
Katie L. Wolf, cum laude. Emma Elaine Wolf, summa cum laude. Lisette Zaragoza. I ask the Mondo College class of 2023 to stand so that we can recognize you.
I'd like to ask you to close your eyes for a minute and you think back across your time at college. Think back to your first day on campus. Think about the best of your many best days. Think about that hardest day and how you made it through. Think about those people who will be your friends for life. Think about that person you had to work hardest to like. Think about your toughest defeat. Think about your greatest triumph. Think about those people who had the greatest impact on you. Think about those people whose lives you have made a little better. Be sure to come back to campus. Come back often. No matter where you go, this will always be home. We are all proud of you. We love you. And from Logan and me, we wish that you will keep the spirit of these days forever. That you will be forever young.
Let us go forth from here willing to be foolish enough to love profoundly, foolish enough to embody compassion and grace for all, foolish enough to know that each of you is a gift to this world from God, foolish enough to let that gift shine brightly into the world you are entering into, and allow for this moment to be a springboard to transform the world we live in. Go, be all that God